हरे कृष्ण ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on this chapter from Prabhupada's perspective. We were discussing that how understanding material nature, this is a chapter of this nature, it provides ingredients. It is the cause. Of course, these ingredients are also given by the Supreme Lord, and the seed is also given by the Supreme Lord. That means the effect is also Supreme Lord. So in that way, just by knowing this, what Krishna is telling, if you know that I am the cause and I am the effect, you will attain pure devotional service. You will attain devotion for me. Like knowing that everything is the cause, Krishna is the cause of everything. Just by knowing only we can attain. Then we will not exploit this material nature. We have see that Prakriti it transforms into Mahatattva and all the elements are formed, and that is also Lord only. Now, and this is the effect of time. Now again, the elements on its own they cannot do anything. So then Lord has to enter in the form of the energy, that is consciousness, and then makes it. That's why the nature it becomes conscious. And like we had Durga Puja worship. What is Durga? This is the energy of Lord. And living entity also enters. So three things. One is time is entering, Lord is entering through consciousness, and living entity karma and swabhava. And that is forming the body for the living entity. And then we saw that ego is the main thing, that is the cause of our bondage, the living entity. And because of ego only, we become consumers, we are experiencing loneliness and sense gratification, and separates us from the nature. And then we saw here the personality of Godhead Kapila continued when the living entity is thus unaffected by the modes of mental nature because it's unchanged and does not claim proprietorship. So, this is the point. What is the we discussed is does not claim proprietorship. When we understand that Lord is the cause, there is one more important thing that happens. Here, what is the main difference between Abrahamic religion and Vedic understanding, Vedic philosophy or Sanatan Dharma? So the main difference is they say Lord is separate from this world. Lord is separate and the world is separate. But for us, na, this makes so much difference. If you know that Lord is this world. The first name in Vishnu Sahasranama is Vishwam. That means this world is Lord for us. Lord stays separately also, but this world is Lord. By knowing this, that this world is Lord, we will be able to develop a relation with Him. We can live. Like for them, na, they say this is all Maya, this is all, even impersonalist also, and this is very important understanding. For impersonalists, they say this is all illusion. For Abrahamic religion, they say nothing to do with this material world and Lord. In both cases, to develop love for Lord is very difficult. If we say that Lord is very far, that is also difficult. The first thing that Lord, in this is Abrahamic religion. In this, Lord is separate from creation. He is somewhere far above the clouds, somewhere he is staying. And then Mayavadi understanding is what? They say Mayavadis, this world is illusion. This is also another problem. If you say this world is illusion, in both cases, no love. It is very difficult to develop love. This is okay. He created this world. He left us. Now he's somewhere far. I had to somehow struggle here and go to him. This is where Abrahamic religion. Whereas Mayavadis, they say this world is illusion. So where is the question of Lord? We are only Lord. We just have to come out of it and understand that I am Lord. It's becoming too close to Lord. But our understanding is this world is Lord. This world, Vaishnava understanding is Vishwam. This world is Lord, but He's separate from it also. Both are there. That's why our true important shlokas of Gaudiya Siddhanta are, one is uh, Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvavid jnanavadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdate. Why this is very important verse? Because the absolute truth is manifested, and this world also, He is properly present here. And that understanding will help us to develop a relation with him, to gain love. And that is what is here need to be understood. We should not claim proprietorship over, because it is Lord. And he remains apart from the creation of the modes, although abiding in the material body. This is about the living entity. And next is when the soul is under the spell of material nature and false ego, identifying his body as a self, he becomes absorbed in material activity, and by the influence of false ego, he thinks that he is the proprietor of everything. And identification, absorption, and proprietorship. These three things proper. First you identify, then you get absorbed, then you say proprietorship. Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa. In Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa means you are just seeing that object. You have to see the advertisement for few times. Then you get absorption. You say, oh, you start appreciating it. Then you say, I want it. And then we discuss this also concept. Work hard, in future you will enjoy. This is a wrong training that children are given nowadays. They become completely uh, they their understanding is completely spoiled because of this one training. You work hard, future. You have to work hard, but as a responsibility. Take responsibility. That is the purpose. Happiness is part, but to become happy is not the way that is teaching. The happiness is in responsibility. Arjuna want to run away from the war. Krishna says, no, you should take responsibility of the war. That is the way to be happy. This is correct only. Work hard, you will be happy in future. But this happiness, the enjoyment, what they are explaining is not correct. What they think as enjoyment is not correct. Happiness is in responsibility, like that. And my happiness is when I make my superiors happy. That we discussed also in the last session. And generally, the living entity is always says, I want to be independent. And here, propositioning, the living entity has no independence, and he is engaged in sense gratificatory activities, is actually under the spell of material nature. And then Prabhupada says many important things here. The soul may be very good and act in mode of goodness, but still he is conditioned under the spell of material nature. A devotee, however, acts completely under the direction of Supreme Lord, but he is no material responsibility. Then now here, Lord Kapila is explaining to uh, Mother Devahuti. He says that the conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, higher and lower, because of his association with the material mode nature. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. And then here, very important thing, Prabhupada says that this is called samsara padabim, which means that the material world from which there is no release. One who desires material liberation has to turn his activity to devotional service. There is no alternative. No alternative. And we discussed what is devotional service. We should not do things for ourselves. This is very important. Don't do things for ourselves. If you don't do things for ourselves, na, that is what is. I do for the pleasure of somebody, always. For the pleasure of Guru, for the pleasure of Vaishnavas. I always do for the pleasure of somebody superior to me. Of course, who are below me also I have to do. But you don't live for yourself, you live for others all the time. Then that is very important. Do for others, for pleasure of Guru and Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas. This is the way we have to live. And here, actually, a living entity in transcendental, this is a very important principle. Try to understand. If I am living for others, then means I am selfless. Then I will make advancement. Generally, the tendency is so much selfishness. I want to live for myself. What for me? What for me? No. When I am doing it, okay, let me do for the now I have to chant my rounds for the pleasure of Guru and Vaishnavas, and who are below me, I have to set an example. That's why I have to work very hard. Like you have children and wife or husband, you have to set an example for the people below. That's why you are working hard. And for the pleasure of Guru, I am working hard. Nothing for myself. That selflessness is actually advancement for us. We make advancement like that only. We will be more and more uh, connected to Krishna in that way. How much selfless we are. To the degree we are selfless. I don't do anything for myself, only for somebody above, only for the pleasure of somebody. All activities. Then we can say, okay, we are doing properly. Otherwise, generally, okay, what if I am attending class, if I am chanting, what I'll get benefit, what I'll get? No. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. So our swartha is Vishnu only. We have to know that the highest welfare for myself is when I want Krishna, and Krishna will come when I stop thinking about myself, when I start thinking about others. Then, even though it is selfish, but that is correct selfishness. I have to start, I will get good benefit if I do for others. Like a woman is pregnant, she has to do for the child from that time only. She should be very strict and irritating. She should not eat anything outside. No canned food, no tin food, no cooked food from others also, only from very exalted devotees or herself. She should do it for the welfare of the child inside the womb. If she should hear kirtan, she should study the scriptures, not just read. Everything she is doing for the welfare of the child. That means she lives for others. That's why she will be very happy. Like the mother who has very small children, they will have this experience. They are very happy. Why they are happy? Because 24 by 7 they are thinking of somebody else. They don't become sick also very fast because they are very happy. They are thinking of others for the child. Anytime, like a boy or girl, they fall in love for few days, they'll be very happy because they start thinking about others. After that time, then the selfishness comes. That is a different point. But whenever we start thinking about others and doing, you experience some sort of and the highest level is when we start always thinking about Krishna, feel for him. That is what need to be done. And this is the principle. We are why we are not happy because we live for ourselves. We are selfish. We stop living for ourselves and start living for others. For Guru. Okay. Today I am attending Bhagavatam, my Guru will be pleased. Today I want to chant, my Guru will be pleased. Vaishnavas will be pleased. I want to do it for that. All the thought should be, what did I do for others today? For any activity, it should be for that only. In that is what when we become, then we are eligible for Vaikuntha. And actually, the living entity is transcendental to material existence. But because of his mentality of lording over material nature, his material existence condition does not cease. And just as in a dream, he is affected by all sorts of disadvantages. So, because of his mentality. So, it's exactly opposite. We have to, instead of lording it over, we have to serve. When we live for others, now we are not lording it over. We are serving it. It is not for me, it is for somebody else. If it is for me, it is lording it over. His material existence condition does not cease. As long as we have this mentality, we have to continue struggling. Just as in a dream, he is affected by all sorts of disadvantages, even though it is not needed for us, but because of this one mentality, selfishness. That is the reason we are caught. And we don't have alternative. We are very royally entrapped by Maya in this way. And Prabhupada gives very nice purport. He says the example of a dream is very appropriate. Due to different mental conditions in a dream, we are put into disadvantageous and disadvantaged positions. Similarly, the spirit soul has nothing to do with this material nature, but because of his mentality, this one mentality of Lording, he is put into the position of the condition. Purusha prakritisto hi bhungte prakriti Karanam guna samvasha. Just sadasat yoni janmashu. And condition existence is described here as dhyayato vishaya. This is we just if you are looking at that object, if the object is in front of like you, for example, you have this example. You keep an object in front of the child. Once he looks the object, then what he will say? And the sound, then how the ice cream people are in the train, these vendors, wherever children are there, they will stand there only. What happens? The children sees that object, then they will do dhyayaton. That means they will see it, and then their sound comes or something comes, they will appreciate. Then they'll say, "I want," and they'll cry. And mother don't have option now; she has to purchase it. So these vendors, what they are using the same principle. All the advertisements use the same principle. You keep the object in front, out of sight, out of mind. You don't keep the object only in front of you. That is very risky for us because our mind has this tendency, dhyayato, object of enjoyment. As long as one continues to think that he can enjoy material advantages, he is in a conditioned life. But as soon as he comes to his senses, he develops the knowledge that he is not the enjoyer, but the only enjoyer is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna tells, Bhoktara Meggadapasam. This is very. But instead of living proprietorship, enjoyment, and actual position as a friend of living entity, Supreme Lord, we claim ourselves proprietor. So this is a false ego. Always claiming proprietorship means false ego only. Wrong identification. We actually now here very important. Like yesterday I was about we had very great personality in India. He left his body. So in that Prabhupada is speaking. But according to our philosophy, no offense to anyone, we perform philanthropic work thinking that we are friends of human society. Someone may proclaim himself to be a very good national worker, best friend of people and of the country, but actually, very important, he cannot be greatest friend of everyone. The only friend is Krishna. We need not feel separation of losing some people like this. We have to feel separation when we lose devotees only. That's all. One should not try to raise the consciousness of conditioned soul to a platform of understanding. One should raise actually that Krishna is actual friend. If one makes friendship with Krishna, one will never be cheated and he'll never will get all help needed. All help needed is only from Krishna, no one else. And very important purpose is arousing this consciousness of conditions is the greatest service. That is the only service. Not posing himself as a great friend of another living entity. The power of friendship is limited. You see, although one claims to be friend, he cannot be friend unlimitedly. There are unlimited number of living entities and our resources are limited. Therefore, we cannot be a real benefit to the people in general. The best service to people in general is to awaken them to Krishna consciousness. That's all. So that they may know that the supreme enjoyer, supreme proprietor, supreme friend is Krishna. Then his illusory dream of lording it over material nature will vanish. Very nice formula. And then he says, it is a duty of every conditioned source to engage his polluted consciousness, which is now attached to material enjoyment, in very serious devotional service with detachment. This devotional service, whenever we hear, we should know it is service to others, not for me. Like there is no question of offering our results to somebody. We don't offer our results. We only do for others. Where is a question of offering? We don't offering results like no my sarvani karmani sanya sorry. Yeah, my sarvani karmani sanyasad or yat karos yadasnas yadjihos yadades. We don't offer results, but we do for them, only for them. Like I am chanting, I don't offer it. I only chant for them. I am cooking. We are offering bhoga, but we are cooking for them only. It is not separately you are doing. The whole process is devotional service, not just that offering part. Even the cooking part is for them only. So it is also devotional service. You are understanding difference. In Karma Yoga, the process is not offering is important. Whereas the process is also important because we are putting consciousnesses. Of course, in that also process is important, but they do it for themselves. There is selfishness in karma. We don't do anything for us. We are working because we want to offer it to Krishna. We want to, that's an offering to Krishna. Going to office is also offering to Krishna because all the money it is for Krishna only. We don't use it for ourselves. We don't go, okay, I'll make so much money so that I'll go to all the restaurants and eat nicely. If that is, then that is not devotional service. Then your job is not devotional service. You're working so that the money is only for Krishna because it's all Krishna's only. I need something, I offer to Krishna and I take his prasad. I want to offer different items to Krishna because Krishna also need variety. If Krishna is offered variety, you can also eat. You cannot just go to some, no, I'll make money, make a world tour and go to all the nice big restaurants. Vegetarian only I'll take. No, that is not, that is all mixture of karma. That is all wrong. That very serious devotional service with a detachment. This is also Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give this Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. We have to give up this proprietorship mentality, enjoying mentality. Enjoyment comes, but it is not that way. I get it. No, Krishna gives enjoyment because I am doing for him. The prasadam will come. Whatever is in your quota, Krishna will give. Let me cook nicely. And somebody may come and take all the prasadam. I say, oh, I offered, but somebody else is eating. And then after that, you will also get something. Krishna will arrange. And his mind and consciousness will be under full control. The process of liberation is nicely explained in this verse. You see what Prabhupada says? Here, Prabhupada all gives in a devotional way, even though here the Jnana Marga is explained, but Prabhupada has different things to explain, like what Prabhupada just telling him. The cause of one's becoming conditioned in material nature is thinking himself the enjoyer. No, this is the point. The proprietor of all, the friends of all living entities. No, do it for others. You start even little bit also, na? We will see the difference. The false thinking is a result of contemplation. Yeah, this is also the same thing. Now, any object we see, like we see a rose, immediately I should see how to offer it to Krishna. You see, any object connected to Krishna. The false thinking is a result of contemplation on sense object, hence enjoyment. When one thinks that he is the best friend of his countrymen or society or humanity, he is engaged in various nationalistic, philanthropic, and altruistic activities. All that is so much concentration on sense gratification. You see, Prabhupada is so heavy. Prabhupada is not politically correct here, but but he is devotionally correct. This is a big star for us. Like you are serving in engaging in nationalistic activities, Bharat Mata ki jai, or philanthropy, altruism, let me protect all these people, Hinduism, protection, and all these things. Prabhupada is telling, not my words, you can hear again. Prabhupada is telling this is all sense gratification, nothing to do with devotion. So much concentration on sense gratification only. The so-called national leader or humanist does not serve everyone. He serves his senses only. That means Prime Minister, all these ministers, what are they serving? The so-called national leader or humanist does not serve. He serves what? That is fact. But the conditioned souls cannot understand this because he is bewildered by the spell of material nature. Prabhupada could see that. It is therefore recommended in this verse that one engage very seriously in devotional service to Lord. This means that one should not think that he is the proprietor, benefactor, friend, or enjoyer. No. They say, Prabhuji, we should do no, so much this, so much that, conversions, this, that. Forget about it. Here, Prabhupada does not say anything. He says, this is all bewilderment of living entity. This is a fact. And because of our bewilderment, we are not able to understand. So you have option to accept Prabhupada or accept somebody else. We are followers of Prabhupada. And this is direct statement to so-called national leader or humanist does not serve everyone. He serves his senses. This is a fact. Okay. They're all serving whom? Their senses. Star Pari. But the conditions cannot understand this because he's bewildered by the spell of mental. That's why they put in the status, this, that, so many things they do. It is therefore recommended in this verse that one engage very seriously in devotional service. This means that one should not think that is a proprietor, benefactor, friend of everyone. He should always be cognizant that real enjoyer is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the basic principle of bhakti. One must be firmly convinced of three principles. One should not think, one should always think Krishna is only proprietor, he is the only enjoyer, he is only. Not only should he understand this principle, but he should try to convince others also, propagate Krishna consciousness. When Prabhupada went to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he said, no, we should liberate India from Britishers. Bhaktisiddhanta says, nonsense. You have to preach Krishna consciousness. This is the only requirement for society. And Prabhupada said, yes, my Guru Maharaj defeated me. I am very happy. That is the preaching what Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did for Prabhupada. He said, no, Krishna consciousness is the only solution, not political changes. As soon as one is engaged in such serious devotional service of Lord, naturally the propensity to falsely claim lordship over material nature disappears. And this is also distraction for us. Why we are not intense devotion means we are getting distracted with all these things. This detachment is called Vairagya. Instead of being absorbed in so-called material lordship and engaged in Krishna consciousness, that is control of consciousness. That is control of consciousness. The yoga process necessitates controlling the senses. Yoga Indriya Samyama. Since the senses are always active, there should be engaged in devotional senses. One cannot stop their activity. If one want artificially stop, then he will fall victim. Prabhupada gives example of Vishwamitra Muni. Unless one mind and conscience, this is also very important point. We always have to have some engagement. We should have target and engagement. Otherwise, it is very difficult. We should challenge engagement. We should have for Krishna all the time. What am I doing? Connection with our Guru is through service only. What service am I doing? Some tangible service should be there. We should feel for them and do it. Prabhuji, nobody is giving any service to me. No, we should give ourselves service. This is my responsibility to my Guru. What service I am doing? One particular point mentioned in this verse is very significant. It is said here, Prasaktam asatam pati. The mind is always attached to asat, the temporary material existence. Because we have associated with material nature since time immemorial, we have become accustomed to our attachment to this temporary material nature. The mind has to be fixed at the eternal lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Savai Manah Krishna Padarvinde. This is also another problem. We are attracted. attached to asat, the temporary material existence. We always have this problem. And Lord Kapila says, one has to become faithful by practicing the controlling process of yoga system, must elevate himself to the platform unalloyed devotional service by chanting and hearing. I will summarize all the verses tomorrow, and the section we will try to summarize. We will give title to each shloka to memorize it. Once the section is over, then I will summarize. Once now, don't get what he is telling. We will try to understand that tomorrow. One has to become faithful by practicing the controlling process of yoga system and must elevate himself to the platform of unalloyed devotional service by chanting and hearing. That means by practicing this, you have to come to the stage yoga, you come to the next stage, elevating himself to the unalloyed devotional service. Your next step is bhakti. And Prabhupada writes the yoga practice has eightfold yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Yama and niyama means practice in the controlling process by following strict regulations, and asana refers to the sitting postures. These help raise one to the standard of faithfulness in devotional service. The practice of yoga by physical exercise is not ultimate goal. The real end is to concentrate, and this is very important. Bhavena is very important factor in the practice of yoga or any spiritual. Bhavena means buddhi bhava samvita. One should be absorbed in thought for love. So this is a very important part. This bhavena is very important. It is what? Absorbed in the thought of love, Krishna. When one knows that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, is the source of everything, that everything emanates from Him, then one understands Vedic of Janmat Yasyataha. This is first shlokan. What is last word from this? Satyam Param Dhimahi. Dhimahi means absorption, meditation. And then he becomes absorbed in bhava. This is a preliminary stage of love of God. Just to become absorbed. Array, everything is Lord. And Rupa Goswami explains very nicely in Bhakti Rasamrita how the bhava or the preliminary stage of love of God is achieved. He states that one first of all has to become faithful. Shraddha Dhanaya. Faith is attained by controlling the senses, either by yoga practice, following the rules and regulations, and practicing the sitting posture, or by engaging directly in Bhakti Yoga as recommended in previous verse. And one may come to the standard of faithfulness by following the rules and regulations of yoga system, and the same goal can be achieved by simply by chanting. And this is and another important thing. Satyena is used in this commentary. Satyena means nishkapatena, without duplicity. And nirmatsarana, we will be able to attain Krishna in this way only. And then in executing devotional service, one has to see every living entity equally without enmity towards anyone, yet without intimate connection with anyone. One has to observe celibacy, be grave, and execute his external activities, offering the results to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Different levels within this jnana is explained, and we will try to understand. Without purpose, it is easy to summarize. So we will first complete purpose, then we'll summarize. A devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who seriously engage in devotional is equal to all living entities. There are various species of living entities, but a devotee does not see outward covering. He sees the inner soul inhabiting the body. Because each and every soul is part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he does not see any difference. This is a vision of a learned devotee. In that way, he is able to execute. One has to see every living entity equally. Equally in the sense means what Prabhupada is explaining is all part and parcel of Krishna. That is the first point. Without enmity towards anyone. And does not see anyone difference from learned Brahmana, dogs, Pandita, Samadarshina. And next point is about enmity. Prabhupada says, devotee has no enmity towards any living entity, but that does not mean that he mixes with everyone. That is prohibited. Aprasangataha means not to be intimate touch with everyone. A devotee is concerned with his execution of devotional service. He should therefore mix with devotees only. That is clear. He has no business in mixing with others. No engagement. We should not social anything you go is very strict. And next is celibacy. Celibacy does not necessitate that one be absolutely free from sex life. Satisfaction with one's wives is permitted also under the vow of celibacy. The best policy is avoid sex life altogether. This is preferable. Otherwise, a devotee can get married under the religious principles and live peacefully with wife. And then a serious devotee has no time to speak of nonsense. He is always busy in Krishna consciousness. Whenever he speaks about Krishna. Maunam means silence. Silence does not mean that he should not speak, but he speaks about Krishna. Another important item described here is Swadharmena, or being exclusively occupied in one's eternal occupation, which is to act as an eternal servant of Krishna. Baliyasa means offering the results of all activities. A devotee does not act for his personal account for sense gratification. See, this Prabhupada again and again tells. Only thing is the forgetting. Not forgetting, we don't want to do it, especially myself. I know it is wrong, but I don't. A devotee does not act for, I know it, I speak it, but I still do it. I don't know why. Whenever he earns, whatever he does, he offers for the satisfaction. For his income, a devotee should be satisfied with what he earned without great difficulty. He should not eat more than what is necessary. He should not live in a secluded place and he should live in a secluded place and always be thoughtful, peaceful, friendly, compassionate, and self-realized. Uh, just by hearing the word, living in a secluded place should make us very happy. This word itself should make us very happy. I know. This is a devotee. He want to be in a secluded, very peaceful. And he should be thoughtful, peaceful, friendly, compassionate, self-realized. Everyone who has accepted the material body must maintain the necessities of body by acting or earning some livelihood. A devotee should only work for such income as is absolutely necessary. He should be satisfied always with such income and should not endeavor to learn more and more simply to accumulate the unnecessary. Prabhupada gives very practical points to understand. He is not theoretically telling. Just accumulate this much, that's all. A person in a conditioned state who has no money is always found working hard to earn some with the object of lording it over material nature. This is the problem. But Kapila is instructing that we should not endeavor for hard for things which may come automatically without extraneous labor. The exact word used in this kali yadrichaya. So, यदृच्छया योपलब्धेन संतुष्टो मितभो मनः विविक्त शरण शांतो मैत्र करुण आत्मवान. This is a shloka. Means that every living entity has a predestined happiness and distress in his present body. That is already fixed for us, fortunately or unfortunately. So no need. This is law of karma. That means how much, what type of satisfaction I should get, what type of house I should live, what type of food I should eat, what type of luxury I should get. It is already decided. You need not, like some people I have seen, they have earned crores of rupees. But what happens is because their job is in such a way, they have to stay in a very simple place only. I was thinking, array, this person has crores of rupees. He could happily enjoy, but he don't have destiny to enjoy. He has to stay in that, like he's earning crores of rupees, but he's staying somewhere in the ship. In the ship, they'll not give you a luxurious place, even though you may be earning so much money in the ship because of ship business, but you have to stay in a small cabin only. My house is bigger. I am not earning crores of rupees, but I stay in a bigger place. That means what? And sometimes in the farmhouse, the servants are there, and the owner comes twice in a year, thrice in a year. But whole year the servant is enjoying nice environment, nice big house, good food, and very clean water. He's in a farmhouse. The whole family is enjoying nicely, and the owner comes once in a year, and he's paying for it. But somebody else is enjoying. That means he's already destined to enjoy like that. Sometimes dog enjoys along with the owner. He is destined to enjoy. So like that, if we see that people who are big and rich, sometimes they are affected by some health problems because of which they cannot enjoy. That means it is not there in their destiny because it already comes. Like some brahmacharis, they are not earning money. How they are getting all facilities? Because it is already there in their quota. This is a very important principle to understand. Predestined happiness and distress is present in this body. This is already there in us. We need not, that is prarabdha only. Separately, no need of any endeavors. What is to be endeavored then? Whether we should work hard or not. Then there is a question, right? Whether we should work hard or not. Okay, you are telling that nothing works, but yeah, what is to be end is we have to acquire. Some people they acquire credits for future enjoyment. By working hard, you give charity, you do some good activities. We want to acquire credits for future enjoyment. And by doing bhakti, we want to acquire spiritual credits. That is where we should make endeavor. So it is not possible that simply by endeavor to accumulate more money, a person will be able to do so. Otherwise, almost everyone would be on the same level of wealth. You see, it is not possible only. Prabhupada is so clear. What is nice point Prabhupada makes? That if you make an endeavor and you will be wealthy, then everybody should be wealth on same level. All people who are working for IIT, they should all get it. But there is not possible. Everybody is, all the business people, they are there, they are doing their business. But some business flourish. We go to the market here. Some business flourish, some don't flourish. So why this happens? It's only one reason. That is because it is not in their destiny. And in reality, everyone is earning and acquiring according to the predestined karma. According to Bhagavatam conclusion, we are sometimes faced with dangerous or miserable condition without endeavoring further. तन्लभ्यते दुःखवत् अन्यतः सुखम कालेन सर्वत्र गभीरम सः. That is what is told. We are not endeavoring, but it is coming. This is a very important topic. We will try to understand it. Please try to understand. Whatever has to come will come. Our endeavor is to change for the future and to make future in a better way. That's all, not for now. Like now I say, okay, Prabhuji, I will get whatever I want. I'll just sit. Will it happen? Will I get? I'll not study. I'll not work. Will I get whatever I have to get? First thing is we cannot do it. Because our nature don't allow us to sit. And second thing is we are acquiring sinful activities by doing it, by not working. When Arjuna said, I will not fight, Krishna says it is sinful for you. Why it is sinful? Killing is not sin for Arjuna, but not killing is sin for Arjuna. You understand? For Arjuna, not killing is sin. Killing is not sin. Why? Because it is his duty. That's how the rules are there in the Shastra. Arjuna is telling non-violence is sinful. Violence is sinful, non-sinful for Arjuna. Non-violence is sinful for Arjuna. So this is the difference. We have to work in the direction. Okay, we'll take some questions. Something in chat box first. Uh, this is exactly opposite to current understanding of people. They propagate that live your life, and that is the most selfish way of living, and that is the most tragic way of living. You will spoil everything if you live for yourself, and that is not actually recommended. Live for yourself. And then second question is Nishkam Karma Yoga also selfish? How that is different from Sakam? Both are selfish. Nishkama is also selfish, Sakama is also selfish. In Nishkama, you are doing to get liberated. In Sakama, you want to do it for sense gratification. So Nishkama, there is no Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakalaya Shanti. This is also Bhukti Mukti. So Mukti Kami, na Nishkam Karma Yoga is Mukti Kami. So that is also selfishness. Yeah, preach to everyone. Hard work and destiny, like story of snake and mouse who are entrapped in a basket. Yeah, they. This is is there. Okay, we'll take some question. Radha Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam to you and dandavat to all the devotees assembled here.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, my question is, when Arjuna was on the chariot and he denied for the fight, he was expressing the compassion, and so it was in the mode of goodness and it was selfless, but it was not the transcendental quality, right? Because Krishna was not in the center. So even though we say that devotees should be compassionate, mm, and devotion and the compassionate, if it is not for the Krishna, means it's not a devotional attitude while doing compassion, then it's not an act of bhakti, right? So could you please teach how we should cultivate the compassion, keeping Krishna in consciousness? Or we should not practice the compassion which is selfish based, or even though sometimes it's a selfless, but Krishna is not in the center. So what exactly we should practice? Because
Our
either of the
compassion is
case.
only giving Krishna to others. Somehow or other, he should remember Krishna, he should come closer to Krishna. That is what is compassion.
But every time we can't do like that, Prabhuji. Every consciousness that we are going to meet, they will have some or the other contamination, and we have to make sure that they come out from that level and at least try to accept Krishna. So at that time there is no compassion, or sorry, at that time we
We
cannot
don't
tell
have
them about
compassion now
Krishna.
because to have compassion now we should also have love. Then we feel compassion. Now whatever we feel, it's material compassion only. We need to experience Krishna consciousness very nicely. Then we will feel compassion for us. Then we see, oh, I am getting so much, and unnecessarily this person is suffering. Then we want to give that person whatever we are experiencing. So for us presently, when love is not there, then there is no real compassion. We are just trying to do the order of Guru. Prabhupada is telling, speak, we are speaking. Prabhupada is telling, distribute books, we are distributing. There is no real we are just following the order. Slowly, slowly, we may also feel spiritual combined. Now it is all material level only. Like somebody suffering, I feel bad, but it is all material because the heart is still vibrating for material things. It is not vibrating for Krishna. When it vibrates for Krishna, then only we will be able to show spiritual compassion. Now, what we are doing is we are just doing the order of Guru. The Guru is telling preach, I am preaching. Guru is telling distribute books, we are distributing. We are just doing the order of Guru now. It is our heart is still vibrating for material thing. Like when I see some material things are missing, or I become upset, or so many things. Material things are so much in the heart. It is vibrating for it.
So when that compassion will come so that we
Yeah,
can
it
get
will come
Krishna?
when we are when we are start experiencing Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti. When we start getting taste, then only we will be able to show real compassion. Otherwise, it's all material level only.
So then when we take do the services based on the order, say you are preaching, someone is doing preaching based on orders. So for them, does the compassion change from uh change? I mean,
Not
does they
immediately, it
have?
will take time for them.
Okay, okay, okay.
Not immediately. We feel, but it is not immediate.
Okay, Prabhuji. And I had one more question, but it's okay, Prabhuji. I'll ask later. Thank you, Prabhuji. Eternally grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any other question, comments? We'll end here. Thank you all very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.